Welcome back to the 7 Sports Cave. Ron Gardenhire put a sign on the doors in Lakeland, Florida, the very first day of spring training. It simply had a picture of the Commissioner's Trophy, and it just said underneath it, "If you don't believe we could win this, don't come through these doors." It's very, very, very early in the season, but the Tigers have come out of the gates hot. 7-3 to start the season, and they seemingly have bought into that philosophy. Tyson Ross got the start today for the Tigers as they wrapped up a series with the Royals. He was pitching lights out. 7 innings for Ross, giving up just 1 run on 5 hits, strikes out 8, only walks 1. Kristen Stewart had a grand slam yesterday, continues his hot hitting today, sends one nearly to the wall in right center. Jamer Candelario comes around to score to tie the game. Stewart into third safely with a triple. 2-1 Detroit in the 6th now. Stewart again, this time with the base hit up the middle. Nicholas Castellanos makes it 3-1 Detroit. Shane Green on to close it out in the 9th. Tying run, Hunter Dozier at the plate. Into center, Nico Goodrum with the diving web gem there. Shane Green, 7 saves in the first 10 games. That's a Major League Baseball record as they win it 3-1, and they are now winners of 5 in a row.
We're excited. I mean, we played good baseball. I mean, make great plays defensively. The pitchers shoved, which is always great to see. And I mean, we swung the bat good enough to get the job done for them. And so it's always fun when all cylinders are working together.
We're at home. You know, our fans come here wanting to see wins, and you know what? It's you're always supposed to protect your home, and hopefully we'll do that really well this year.
Welcoming in now Anthony Fennick from the Detroit Free Press, the beat writer for the Tigers.
Feels good to be back.
Feels good to have you back. Thank you for bringing in your mustache as well.
You're welcome. You know, like I told you at the park earlier this week, it's really grown on me.
I mean, this guy, boom, boom. We need to have like a band in here to play off after this is over. Look, let's get right into it. Tigers winners 5 straight now. Look, it's early in the season. No one's crowning them World Series contenders except maybe you in joking.
At least playoffs. At least playoffs. 7-3 start.
But this team, you know, and I've said for a long time, we know the rebuild is here. I think the guys in that clubhouse know that the rebuild is here. But at the same time, they're going to go out there. They're going to give it their all. They have jobs to do. They have careers to look forward to. But I gotta admit, this team is a little bit intriguing to me. Are you, as you followed them through spring training and seeing them play their first 10 games of the season, seeing a little bit of that intrigue as well?
Yes. I think the good vibe from last season, when they really exceeded expectations by losing only 98 games, has carried into this season. And I think first and foremost, they're playing a better brand of baseball. And that's what Ron Gardenhire and the coaching staff tried to instill in them last year. Remember, this was a younger team last year than it is this year. And I think you're starting to see the dividends of teaching them the way to play the game the right way. But also the mix of guys in the clubhouse. You got Miguel Cabrera back. Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer have been really good up the middle. That's a veteran kind of duo. Nick Castellanos is a year older. They've kind of really mixed up with the youngsters, taken part Kristen Stewart, 2 big home runs this season. Well, he had a big slump in between that. Right. And these veterans have really carried him along. I think the biggest thing, though, has got to be the pitching staff, and also that I was way wrong on my early season prediction. I had them losing 97 games. I think it's going to be more to the low 90s.
Low 90s, so you're giving them 5 to 6 more wins.
But unfortunately, the paper's already out on people's doorsteps. I can't change that now.
Let's talk about that starting pitching staff because, look, I mean, Jordan Zimmerman goes out on opening day and, you know, almost throws a perfect game.
Until I jinxed it.
Was it you?
On Twitter.
I thought it was Matt Shepard and the broadcast.
It was everybody. It was our fault that Jordan Zimmerman gave up that.
When will we learn? When will we learn to keep our mouths shut? But, you know, he also had, you know, a great second outing. And then all of a sudden these other guys in the rotations, they come out in double-digit strikeouts, and Matt Boyd's doing his thing. And then, you know, it seems like they're kind of feeding off one another. I wanted to ask you, is that a staff thing from the players themselves, or is that maybe the pitching coach who's now with the team?
I think that Rick Anderson deserves a lot of credit for this. I think that the way he communicates with his pitchers, especially the young guys, has really paid dividends, not only the second half of last season after Chris Bosio was fired, but this spring as well. But on a person-by-person basis, you just look at, first off, Zimmerman. He's fully healthy. Last year, coming into the season, there was some stuff going on under the hood that he wasn't telling anybody. He got the surgery in the offseason. He's fully healthy. Matt Boyd seems like he's primed to take another step. I mean, he struck out 13 guys in Yankee Stadium last week. He's a guy.
That's one of the best offenses in the game.
And one of the smallest parks in the game as well. I mean, his slider, he really kind of refined his slider this offseason. But then you go down the list. Matt Moore, before he was hurt yesterday. Tyson Ross, he pitched 7 innings today. And then Spencer Turnbull, who, for my money, is the most exciting young player on this Tigers team.
Really?
Because of what he's done in the minor leagues and the way he pitched this spring, 1.80 ERA, had Ron Gardenhire saying, look, if you guys aren't going to let me take this guy in his starting rotation, I'm going to go to a 6-man rotation. So obviously the Michael Fulmer injury was a killer for these guys. It was very big. But in steps Spencer Turnbull, who, look, we always talk about the Matt Manning, Casey Mizes of the world, Alex Faedos, Bo Burrows. But Spencer Turnbull's a rookie in his own regard, and he can pitch a little bit.
I know fans want to, around here we're looking for something to grasp onto. I mean, the Pistons are struggling to get into the playoffs. They haven't even secured that. The Red Wings season is done. They're cleaning out their lockers tomorrow. We're getting into the baseball season. Michigan State just lost. It's college stuff. It's baseball is now here. It's time to take center stage. How long do you think this team will stay not only relevant in the standings, but relevant in the fans' interest?
I think that this team can stay competitive longer rather than sooner, okay? And what I mean by that is, look, you look at the American League, there are a lot of bad teams.
True.
And I have a feeling that this Tigers team, who at the end of the day, wins and losses will likely dictate they are a bad team as well. But I think that they will be able to beat some of these badder teams. They play in a very weak division, and that has to be built into this early season success here. Toronto, 4 games, was a bad team. Royals might be one of the worst teams in baseball.
True.
Indians have taken a step back this year. They're coming to Comerica Park this week. That's going to be the big test because the Tigers' offense has shown signs of getting out of their early season slump, but only signs. They're still not hitting the ball well.
Right.
And now they got Corey Kluber, Trevor Bauer.
They're not any good.
Shane Bieber.
Justin Bieber plays baseball?
Not Justin, Shane. But I think that look, they stuck in it till the middle of May last year. I could see them doing the same thing.
I'm kind of hoping they can keep it interesting until middle of May, early June without a rally goose type scenario taking
Looking
over.
around that clubhouse for the goose, but I think it left to Chicago with James McCann.
Yeah. We'll miss you, James.
But I think it's going to be a very intriguing first half because not only if they stay in the race, they stay competitive, but then you see some of these guys like Matt Boyd, even Jordan Zimmerman. These guys are going to be sought-after guys at the trade deadline if they keep these performances up. Not to mention Shane Green, who set an MLB record today, 7 saves and 10 appearances. So it's going to be an interesting summer, at least for the start.
I've just been told we have a mustache cam. A mustache cam.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, Jay Rose.
Wow, there it is. That looks great. Fennick, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it as always. Make sure you guys are following him on the Twitter as well. Anthony Fennick, read his stuff in the Free Press as much as humanly possible because his satire on that Twitter is always A-okay with me. We are going to bump out with the mustache cam here.
There we go.
And we'll be back with more here on the 7 Sports Cage. Stay with us.